Happy New Year, Gulls fans. Welcome back to the 25 for 25 podcast. I hope all of our listeners had a wonderful Christmas and a happy holiday with your families. We are so excited to be back on the podcast this week. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eric Lindley. I am the Director of Baseball Operations for the Newport Gulls, and today I am joined by two of my former coworkers, Juliana DeCenzo and Rachel Duran. How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How was everybody's holiday?
Good. Nice to be home for a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Nice to be back in town.
Yeah. Newport, what was it, like an hour and a half drive?
Oh,
for
yeah.
you? Not too bad?
No, I used to do it for the commute.
Perfect.
Light work.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming in today, kind of talk all things Newport Gulls here. One of the main things I want to talk about today is I want this to be kind of like an intern and staff-focused episode. So before we get into that stuff, just quickly, give our fans, kind of a rundown of what you guys, are currently doing in the sports world, where you're going to school. Rachel, I know you just graduated, but, what's all that stuff looking like for you?
Yeah, so I just graduated a couple weeks ago, sport management and business degree, and currently just trying to figure out kind of the pathway I want to take, what I want to do with it back here, hoping to stay out east, and just kind of rolling with the punches.
Yeah. Is baseball kind of like that main center of your focus right now?
I'd say definitely still. I am a little baseballed out, I will not lie. I work obviously, worked here the past 2 summers, and then also with Eastern Michigan baseball back at school, but kind of like hoping to see if I can find something not baseball.
Are you
going to
do anything with them for the spring at all for Eastern, or?
No, I have a couple. Speaking of, I have a couple of volunteer opportunities that I set up for them, but past that, I'm pretty hands off now, and just if they need any help, I'll be there. I'll be on call, but past that, not really.
Just rolling with the punches right now, seeing where everything goes. After individuals like us graduate, we usually have, whether that's, taking a little time off, like you said, you're a little bit baseballed out. Is that, are you a little sportsed out? Are you still trying to, are you going to jump on, something right away, or is it you still kind of game planning for what's ahead?
Still kind of game planning. I'm definitely exploring maybe other business, entertainment business stuff, and not just necessarily sports, seeing what I can do, where I could get hired. But obviously my focus has been sports and baseball specifically. So.
Awesome. That's awesome. Juliana, what about you?
Yeah, so kind of like she touched on, I took a year from undergrad from Syracuse, interned here going into graduate school. So I'm in my second year in my program at UMass Amherst, and I've been working in athletics in the marketing department with them, which has been super fun. In the spring, planning on working with the baseball team and the men's lacrosse team, doing hockey right now. But yeah, kind of took the time in between the summer for the first year of grad school and then my second summer going back into my final year of grad school, graduating in May, and just kind of seeing where things are lining up. Like Rachel was talking about, the job hunt is on for me. I'm a little older than everybody, but that's kind of the main focus right now.
So what does that look like for you? What type of industry are you looking to get into? Do you have a main sport right now? Just give me a little rundown on that.
Yeah, so hockey's always been my number one. I love baseball, so I've been here the past 2 summers, but kind of in that partnership marketing space, did a little bit of sponsorship stuff when I was here, touched a lot of different pieces of this organization from last summer and then especially the first summer as well, but just kind of piecing that together, seeing where I want to go in kind of either professional hockey or baseball.
That's awesome. So before we get into all things Gulls, what did that experience look like first off, before you came into Newport? Because I know you specifically, you did like 20 different internships or something. So just give us a little rundown on all that stuff.
Yeah, I've been all over.
I've done LinkedIn.
Yeah, pull up the LinkedIn. We'll scroll through what I've done. I've been in college. I've been in professional. I've been in kind of sport commission. I worked down in Nashville for a couple months. Been working at Syracuse. Worked here back in URI in their athletic department, and then here with the Gulls. So kind of been all over. And then I was working in membership at my gym once I had graduated, trying to figure out where I was going. And then grad school kind of came along, and then wanted to get back into my sport realm. I kind of, fitness is kind of sport adjacent is what I call it. But I wanted to get back into my lane of what I studied and what I knew. So along came the Gulls, and that was that.
There you go. Rachel, what about you?
Obviously, as I talked about, baseballed out. Straight out of freshman year, I started working for Perfect Game as a field coordinator / scout. So I'm down there, obviously, like I am recording every single pitch, every single speed, every pitch type.
Pitch tracking.
Yep. All of the above, as well as running down and seeing a kid, oh, okay, so this kid in this tournament, he's been 4 for 5 the past 2 games, run down, get video of him. Always a fun time when you got like a grand slam on video.
Right.
That's like my one claim to fame. I was like, yes, I got it. I'm like, okay, that's it for the day, guys.
That's awesome.
But did that out of freshman year. I also worked for my high school baseball team. I'm jumping back actually. But I worked for my high school baseball team for 2 years, which really kind of, I think, definitely helped me get into the University of Michigan and helped to accelerate just my major and what I wanted to do. So once I did that, figured that all out, obviously perfect game. Next summer, I was here as an intern, and then obviously last summer as well as part of the staff. So, and I've worked for Eastern Michigan baseball alongside of that as well while I'm at school.
So I think that's an awesome segue, right? Because when I look at this baseball team, throughout this entire podcast, I want to get everybody's perspective on this organization, and whether that's, the Hall of Famers we're bringing in here, whether that's the staff members or the front office members, the interns that used to work with us, obviously you guys included. I want to know, what about the Newport Gulls jumped out at you guys, A, obviously starting out as an intern, and then B, we'll get to a little later, coming back for that second year. But what made the Gulls specifically jump out to you guys when we were first looking at coming here for that summer of 2024?
There was a girl in my program before me that had interned here, and it was a little different for me because I was a little older coming in first year for the internship than kind of what's usual for like undergrads. So it was a little different, but she had a great time, and I kind of talked to her about it and saw that trajectory that it set her on. And so I just kind of forgot almost that there was a team in my backyard just because I've been up in Syracuse and then I was in Nashville, and so I've kind of been all over, and just coming home never really thought there was a lot here for me besides college. And then kind of getting into the summer ball space, I was like, that would be cool, something I haven't experienced, which was nice because I had done a lot up at that point. But it stood out to me after talking with her, and so I interviewed, kind of talked a little bit. It was really nice because kind of catered it to more of what I was looking for in terms of me being on the older side of things and just being a little more towards the job realm than some of the younger kids were.
Having a little bit more responsibility involved with that. And all that stuff. So
it was nice because I kind of got to create almost my own path here as an intern first, and then luckily it worked well enough for me to come back a second year.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, what about you?
I was on the hunt for summer ball. I knew that specifically. Obviously, I'm from Massachusetts originally, and my dad's from Rhode Island. So first thought was like, oh, of course the Cape League. But the distance for that and like where I'd be living, obviously, they don't provide any housing or anything of the sort. So I was kind of like, what do I want to do there? Parents didn't love the idea, like sophomore year of me all the way out there. So I was looking for something a little bit closer. And when I was Googling, of course, stumbled upon the Newport Gulls and any positions that were open, along with the fact that I saw, obviously, when you look up the Gulls initially, you get a lot of old, like, hey, they used to compete, obviously, with the Cape Cod League. Like, they were adjacent to that immediately. Very top team, used to play exhibition games against them and everything. So I went, okay, this is definitely a more high-level team in the NECBL than other teams that I'd seen. And I threw a curveball out there. It was kind of late in May, and I was like, okay, let's see if there's anything, like, fingers crossed, anything
see
left.
If anything stuck to the wall.
Emailed Mike Falcone, and then here I am. I became the summer camp coordinator because honestly, that was what was open. But I took that in stride and realized that's a position that you spend just as many hours as you two were using and doing in your own respective roles. That seemed a little bit more hands-on game day. But summer camp's just, you're there every single day. You're on site. You're the face of the organization for the community, much more so than like necessarily game day. It's all the in-between as well as game day. So it was a really interesting kind of perspective to take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like how we talk about the long hours, right? Because when we look at the fan's perspective, or we put ourselves in the shoes of the fan, right? They see, oh, it's Newport, it's summer baseball, it's family-centered, it's all this entertainment stuff. And even when you're putting yourself in the eyes of an intern, right? It's like, oh, crap, I get to go work in Newport for the summer, get a little sports experience. And we talked about this in a little bit in the last episode in terms of all the operational stuff that goes in, how this isn't just a May to August kind of ordeal. This is literally something we're starting to do as soon as we turn over in September, getting ready for the season and the upcoming summer and the preseason. But how much of a grind is it really? Can you guys just talk about that for a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had come in, again, a little different a couple months earlier than everyone. Eric, you and I kind of, I came in about a month after you had. So we were kind of here prior to our intern influx coming in. And there's a board full-time, and then there was one other full-time person in charge, and then we were basically the help for that. So it's definitely a grind, and again, like you mentioned, they don't come in and just start playing baseball. These boys land in Newport, and we're in the community the next day, whether they like me for it or not. I was the director of community relations my first year, and it's just the first touch point with Newport and the island being, we're back, we're ready to go, summer's around the corner. We get these guys in classrooms to go read to kids with People's Credit Union, the Fanatic About Reading program, which was my child, and just bringing them to events and anything we can get them in front of people doing. We throw them right kind of into the fire when they get here. So it really does start like the second they step foot on this island, as well as us whenever we're in here. Like, we're just grinding, getting everything set up, making sure we have every sort of aspect for games lined up, and it's just like you said, it starts the second the season's over.
It's almost a never-ending process if you look at it, right? And it's not just about planning for these game days. It's all the stuff we're doing in the community. You know, as someone who is in charge of and really just scheduling and maintaining all of that throughout the summer, how did that help you in terms of, you know, obviously understanding, you know, already the kind of area you wanted to go into and into the sports industry, but how did all of your responsibility over the course of the summer kind of help elevate you in terms of your skill set and your just push towards that development? Yeah,
I've kind of managed some teams before in terms of like a staff when I was the director of operations for Syracuse hockey, but nothing like managing a team of 50 boys.
And the turnaround's so quick too. It's not like you're just like here for a summer. You're not like the college program where you get to know them over the fall.
No, exactly. It's like you guys, it's about really building trust from the very beginning. And it's like, I know it's early mornings, long days, late nights, but just being able to kind of manage as the team and the boys and just coordinating with all of these schools like we do in the very beginning, and then certain, again, like opportunities they have to go to schools or activities on the island throughout the summer that's not just playing ball.
Right.
Because we do keep that. We started really heavy in the beginning to get them kind of involved in the community and used to Newport and Middletown and Portsmouth and everything, but it continues throughout the summer to kind of show people that they're still here and they're still involved. They're not just kind of coming to play baseball and then leaving. They build bonds with some of these kids and with organizations and people and their host families and whatnot. So definitely built up my my ability to manage a lot of people at once. Those were some big skills, and just being like organized and time management is a big thing as well, because they have crazy schedules, but so does the staff, so do we, you guys know. So just building those skills.
Absolutely. And it's the same sort of thing with the players like you talk about, right? You know, they get here, you know, they fly in May 31st, June 1, it's boom, they're doing the reading program. That takes us about, 2 weeks into June, and then our summer camps start.
Oh, yes.
So these kids, just like us, they're nonstop out in the community. Just touch on a little bit about what the summer camps, involved, what your main role was in those summer camps and just how that all came to fruition over the course of the summer.
Speaking of talking about long hours, throwing it back to that question initially, those days for me, they started about 6:30, 7 a.m. Well, that's when I left my house in Massachusetts, and I would drive down here, take the hour and a half about to get to the fields that bounce between, obviously, Portsmouth, Middletown, and Newport, and then back up Portsmouth, Middletown. But, those days started really early for me. The boys thought they were out there early. I was like, hey, nope, I've got you beat by a tiny little bit there. And those days would roll into summer camp starts at 9, but obviously parents with their ranging work schedules as well have to drop their kids off a little bit earlier. So you got to be on your toes at that field about probably 8:15 just to get everything set up before parents start to show up with kids, and then you're obviously responsible for making sure kids stay on a field and you can keep head count and everything. But once those days that kicked off at 9 with all the boys as the summer camp counselors, those days, it was till about noon, obviously, is when camp's over. But then we'd roll straight into, they report to the field 3 p.m., so they have a couple-hour break to go get some food or anything, and same with me, honestly. I'd roll over to Stop and Shop, pick up a little food, and then straight to Cardines, and then you just roll straight into game day on those days. So those ones particularly, those are the days that I was zapped at the end. Didn't know where I was at the end of it. At the end of the game, it's like, oh, I still got to go back home after this.
Right.
But camp as a whole is, I feel like when I first heard the position, I was kind of like, oh, okay, summer camp. Like I'd worked as a summer camp counselor before, and I wasn't quite sure what the coordinator, like director role contained. But I quickly realized it is a lot of administrative work.
Yes.
You had to field all of the emails, all the registrations rolling in, keep track of all of them, notify the parents that we received their application for the summer camp, as well as just maintaining like, hey, send out the kind of the overall overview each week to say, hey, this is what your kids need, this is what you should be expecting for the camps, any flex days we might have because of weather, heat, something like that. And then just keeping, you're like just on top of all that correspondence. You have parents emailing you left and right saying, oh, my kid doesn't have any baseball experience, and we're like, we welcome them any level, any experience. It does not matter. This is a chance to get outside, have fun, meet the Gulls players, and just play a little game of baseball and have fun, like just kind of the roots of what baseball is all about. So just that part alone was nothing what I expected. I was doing more so kind of what you guys were kind of, your initial intern roles was a lot of email correspondence, and I was not anticipating that initially. I still have people probably emailing to my personal email about that stuff. They found it this past year too, and I was like, so that's not me anymore. But these people know, those parents are on top of it. But just figuring all of that out, not to even mention making sure you have all the equipment for camp and make sure no balls go missing, and again, make sure the kids stay on the field, and like separating the age groups by which I had one camp, craziest camp, probably 80 to 90 kids. I don't know how we survived that one. I do not know at all. But just the parents too are just an amazing part of the community. Like they love the camp just as much as the kids do. I've had so many parents come up to me, even last year as well. They're like, oh my God, I remember you from 2 years ago. I remember you from summer camp. They're like, we love it. We love it. We love it. One family even came up, told me they were accidentally, but Chuck was at a camp. So she just turned to him and she's like, oh, I love it. Like, our kids love it. I love it. She's like, we've become kind of like a Gulls super family. And he was like, that's amazing, because I'm the owner and general manager. And she was like, perfect that I spoke to you. Awesome. And she relayed that to me. And I was like, good job. But even we met a woman at, when we were at the Aquidneck Club.
Yes.
Who is, yes, that mom. She saw us. She saw you and me. She immediately asked me, "Where's Eric?" I was kind of like, "I'm like, we'll disclose that information in a minute." But yeah, she came up to us. She loves it, and the kids obviously like just the chance to get these baseball players are like gods to them.
Exactly. These players are literally already Major League Baseball players.
Yeah, exactly.
These kids, and it means the world.
Celebrities.
Like even when I saw it in high school, like the little kids in our hometown would come up to the high school high school varsity baseball players and be like, "Can you sign my cleats? Can you sign my baseball?" And I remember, since I was obviously not a player, never played softball or baseball, I was kind of like out of it, kind of like, what? It's kind of like high school players, because being the same age as these players. Yeah. But then you see just like the joy and the wonder in these little kids' eyes. Yeah. And like coming here, these guys are larger than life for them. Right. So being able to put them in the community 4 days a week for 5 weeks straight, not even including the reading programs, but putting them there, the kids just have the time of their life getting to just learn baseball from these players. I remember too, there was a catcher's group we set up once. And one of the moms was like, my son, he loves to catch. He was hoping to do it. And I was like, we have about 4 of them here right now. I'm like, they can make a little station for him. And she's like, oh my God. And I sent her, I literally screen recorded our Instagram story and I sent her the video because she wanted it a lot, just to show her son and everything. And just like those sort of moments is what really speaks to me about how much the camps do impact the community.
Absolutely. And, it's one of the recurring themes of this podcast. And it's a point that I really want to make, right? This team is so much more than the baseball team, right? It's obviously so much more than the 40-plus guys who are put out onto that field at some point throughout the summer. and as long and as much of a grind as it is, right? I don't want to scare any potential applicants or the people coming to work for us already.
That's
for
sports
this summer.
in general.
Exactly.
And if you're signing up for a career in this, buckle up.
Yeah,
baseball is
exactly.
the one sport that does not have a timer.
Yeah.
No,
So there's no clock on that game.
Long early mornings, long hours,
Many
late
a night
nights.
at
It's
Cody.
just
Oh, yeah.
it's the way it is, and it's just having the opportunity. And I think what the internship here in Newport really taught all of us was that and this is nothing against other teams in our in the NACBL or in just summer baseball in general, but the experience that we got here felt as professional as it could be without being a professional level of sports, right? But at the same time, it's the experience that we got was very rewarding to see everything come to fruition, right? Obviously, our intern year ended in a way that, was very lucky for us, that culminated in a championship, the way we won that championship. But let's just talk about real quick, how rewarding that experience really is, whether that's seeing these game days come to fruition. Rachel, like you talked about, seeing those summer camps come to fruition. How did all of that hard work, what did all of that hard work mean to you guys when you saw it all come together over the course of the summer?
God, there's so many things that come to mind when I think about it. Like even from the first year, just with that reading program, months it took to plan the days, the times, the schools we were going to, how many kids we needed, how many classrooms there were, what grades they were reading to, who was going to go read where. Like there's a lot that goes in. It's not just the kids showing up and going. I mean, the boys just show up and go and read to these classrooms, but there's a lot of planning. Some of these schools will ask to do like autograph sessions. And so the boys will just set up after their reading and autograph all these little kids' whatever they might be. They wear Gulls merch to school when they know the Gulls are coming in. They make them cards. This past summer, a classroom had made them all thank you cards, and I got to pass them out to the boys after a game, and even their faces were lighting up because they thought that was awesome. Right. And no matter how many times we tell them they're celebrities to these kids, they might not think much of it. They're here to play baseball. They're 19, 20, 21 years old. And then they have these like 6, 7, 8-year-olds writing them thank you cards because they came to talk to them. And then they go to these games and get to see them, and they think they're famous to them. So that's really awesome. And then especially this past summer, probably out of my 2 summers, the most rewarding thing we've done so far was just the impact we have in this community and with the Jake Cathers family. That kind of, I was lucky enough to be at the helm of that with a lot of us, but gosh, being able to bring that family together into a game and see the support just from this one island in our tiny little state of Rhode Island come together for this family and this cause, and just the absolute wild impact that it had. You don't think much that a summer baseball team could use something like that, but that's what kind of makes Newport special. And even when we're playing other teams and they come to the field and they know I'm going to bother them for something, and they're like, I'm apologizing, but all the other coaches and the staff of other teams love coming to Newport because they love what we do and how we kind of showcase ourselves to the league and to other people. So there's just a lot of opportunities that I don't think people realize can come from this. That, I mean, even I didn't, just knowing what to do in a community relations aspect the first year, and then being executive assistant GM last year, having a little bit more of a role in the community with Chuck, and then again putting something together like just the sheer aspect that some of these things can do is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to like harp on the summer camp thing, but obviously I was very involved with it last year as well as the assistant director of baseball ops. But just being kind of on the ground my first year, being in that like the front facing role there, and then still being involved last year, it helped a lot of parents definitely with like, of course I was like joking earlier saying, oh, I'm still getting emails, but it was helpful for them in that kind of position to see it as well, to get to see that like I'm still there. Oh, wait. Oh, she ran it like, oh, it went smoothly last year. Oh, I remember her.
It's a friendly face.
Exactly.
And they feel like they can trust us.
And so just being able to kind of transition that into it and planning it back in. My goodness. January when I like came in during winter break to start it all.
I'm already looking at dates for summer camps.
Exactly. You got to get those waivers out to the fields and everything. But just like being able to set it up as well in more of an administrative staff role last year really showed me, and you did so much of the kind of the heavy lifting, getting all the fields insured and all of that stuff. But being able to like also hand it over to me, I think definitely, not to be like, oh yeah, me, but it helped that like I kind of obviously was very hands-on the first year.
The biggest thing for me, and we'll go into this in a brief moment here when we talk about all the stuff that went over this past summer. But the help that I needed this past summer, obviously coming into my first year in a new position, being full-time, then still balancing everything else I have going on. You know, we talk about friendly faces, right? And to have you two back here last summer, it was a blessing for me, right? Because you guys alleviated everything on my plate and made everything run a little bit smoother. I know Chuck was very happy to have the three of us back for everything, and the entire board was, right? Whether it's Chuck, whether it's Chris, whether it's Ron, whether it's Mark, whether it's Greg, you know, to have all three of us back, it felt like a breath of fresh air. Obviously, with the transition, it was a little tough last year, but I think we pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah,
So.
that comes kind of back to the piece I said about building trust, not only with the players, but I think the three of us were fortunate enough to build a lot of trust with the board,
right.
Because especially last year with the transition like you mentioned, and then all three of us being back, it kind of gave them that sigh of relief to, okay, we know they can handle it. They've done it before.
Right.
We took on kind of bigger roles even in our first year, a little more elevated than we initially thought we might be.
Right.
But just being able to know that they trust us and enough to basically run this organization for them when they can't be here. I mean, not every day you get to say it. I was 24 at the time. My GM left the country and was like, you got it, girl. And I was GM of the Newport Gulls for a week. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. But it's also, it means a lot because, like you had said too, friendly faces, like I'm revisiting all of these sponsors and talking to people and they're like, oh my gosh, we're so excited. We didn't know you were coming back. We're so excited. And you build up relationships with these people and they remember you.
Right.
And like selfishly, it's a nice feeling.
It is
to
a
be
nice
recognized.
feeling. It is a nice feeling because, you know, you put in all that hard work, right? And it's something that I'll tell applicants, again, whether they're here for the summer or not, depending on how the process goes in terms of the internship program throughout the summer. But, you know, why not give 110% all the time, right? Because it always works itself out that way. It worked itself out that way for us in our intern year, right? You know, there's always going to be these few positions that kind of rise above everybody else, and that's not to put any of the other interns, you know, to shame or anything, but it's those people that quickly realize that they take pride in the position and their responsibility on a day-to-day basis, and they want to make something of themselves, right?
Yeah.
They want to leave their own personal footprint on this organization throughout the summer, and to be able to do that, you know, that willingness to go the extra mile is needed, and it's obviously something that I think all three of us had, and really what helped us, you know, be comfortable in coming back and make everything else comfortable in the transition. But you know, when we're looking at returning for 2025, you know, was it kind of like an easy decision? Obviously, I know Juliana, you came back a little bit later, right towards the back end of May. But Rachel, what did you know, with all of that you experienced, you know, your first summer in 2024, how easy was that decision when, you know, you found out that you did have the opportunity to come back and work for the Gulls again?
I definitely think, kind of just going off of what you were saying before too, it's not limited to like what internship position that what title you hold, but rather just how much energy and effort, 110%, like what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, which is like the age old, whatever, you're always going to hear it in sports, but it is completely and utterly true.
Right.
And I think this summer ball, and especially Newport here, is a very unique position where you can, if you truly want to do the extra mile, you want to go the extra piece just to get into the position of being asked to come back and looked upon, like the three of us kind of were saying, hey, we trust you guys. Like, you were very involved your first year. It's really all about what you take on.
Exactly.
And I feel like I kind of did it incidentally almost my first year. It was just kind of what naturally happened, being so involved with summer camp in the community and then on game days as well, because that was more what I wanted to kind of work towards. I can't say like community relations was necessarily like my first thought and what I wanted to be doing initially, but it definitely helped carry me into that game day role, and then obviously I'd be recognized at games by the parents and the kids. So it kind of, I would say, like, it just wrapped up everything with like a perfect bow on top. So then obviously when I got the call, I got some text from you and I got the call from Chuck saying, hey, like Eric's coming back as the director of baseball ops and we'd like you to return as well if you would like to as the assistant director. Obviously I was touched beyond words just because it was like, well, thank you, of course, like for thinking of me. I felt like I wasn't in necessarily a traditional role that you would be asked back for in a higher position as like, I'm not trying to say summer camp coordinator. It just sounds, sometimes I feel like people hear it and they're like, oh, okay, summer camp, that's not like game day, it's not involved. And it is so much more.
It's so much more.
Everybody's game day.
There's nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's game day.
Whatever the position is, whatever the title is, it's never what it really says at face value. Because
you do everything.
You're dragging the fields during games, taking out trash. It's
community relations 101.
Anything and everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's everything under the sun. But, yeah, getting that call back, asking if I wanted, obviously, heightened responsibility and more, obviously, being a staff member instead of an intern where we started initially. It was definitely the top option I had for my like summer quote unquote internship for school. But it was almost a no-brainer to come back. I was like, you know what? I've made great connections here. I'd be working with you. And obviously Juliana, she came around at the end of the year, the end of the spring. And I was like, oh yes, like the band's back together. But just being able to work with somebody that like, obviously we were comfortable with each other. We knew each other. And the board knew us as well, and they trusted us to bring that in. As obviously they all said, like, oh, you guys, it's the youngest group kind of upper staff that we're going to have, that we've ever had. It really meant a lot to have, like, that much trust being put into me and you as 21-year-olds at the time. So,
you know, it was a very, very exciting experience when we all found out that we were all coming back. And then Juliana, obviously, you know, maybe it wasn't your first choice to come back to Newport.
It's not that it wasn't my first choice. I just am the resident grandma of the group. So there were other things being perused, whether it was through like my department up at school with my advisor and just kind of chatting, because I had a conversation with Chuck in a couple months after the season ended, before the new year, about potentially coming back, and I hadn't even really thought that far ahead into the next summer before my final year of grad school. So there were just some pieces I was trying to figure out, and I had told him, and he was very understanding, that I just like couldn't fully commit to coming back yet, because I wasn't sure what my next summer was going to look like. I didn't know if I had requirements, if I didn't, what I needed to do. And again, being on the older end of things, there were some other avenues I was looking into, but towards the end, some things were just, it was kind of lining up to come back home for a bit. And especially, again, being fortunate enough to, in a sense, create a position that fit my needs almost again, because that's kind of what happened the first time with Mike when he realized I was a little on the older end, and just kind of what I was looking to get out of this, and just catering it to my old lady needs of being kind of a little more experienced than everyone, and again just older, and that's just kind of how it went. But I was fortunate enough to kind of figure that out with Chuck, and he was like, we want you back, we'd love to have you back. And I had called him up and I said, you sure you still want me back? And he was like, absolutely. And so came back in as exec assistant GM, which was unbelievable, something I never really thought would happen, but again, kind of catered more to my on the older end of things, a lot more responsibility, able to kind of see the back end side of things, just because that's also what I've learned in school. A little more past some of you youngins. So
exactly. And we talk about, it's, seeing everything from the intern perspective back in 2024, and then thinking, how different could it be? And
you get to see behind the curtain.
Year, right? You know, you think you see a lot of it as an intern, but when you're a staff member, how does that perspective change, coming back for that second year?
Kind of like I just said when you were speaking, but like you really see behind the curtain. You finally kind of get to see the inner workings of an organization of this caliber, and obviously again, not to like knock any CBL teams, but you can, having traveled to other ballparks and everything and other venues, you can truly see how much effort, energy, love that the board puts into this team specifically. It's not just a kind of a side hobby for them. Right. And how much they care about the players that they bring in here, what the players are wearing, what the merchandise that they're selling to fans, and the fan experience at Cardines. You truly see like the utter difference. Yep. And it's a very high caliber of summer ball. Much, I think, kind of almost a little bit of a secret out here. Because I feel like everyone thinks, oh, Cape Cod League, Draft League kind of now, even like the Appalachian League. Yep. But I feel like Newport's a little
hidden
haven. Yeah. And just kind of that difference in experience and all of that stuff. You truly saw, obviously, when we came back as more as staff with more responsibilities, and we can see behind that curtain. We truly saw like what it takes to run a team of this level and to keep it at that level.
And I think that's just like, it goes into the desire of obviously being in that position, right? Because you see how well this organization is run, like you say, at that at that high level. And you want to, you don't want to just say, you don't want to do everything in mediocrity, right? Yeah. You want to continue to raise the bar along with everybody in this organization, and you want to leave that, you know, that very personal footprint on this organization, whether it's, you know, being responsible for planning a full game day, whether it's being responsible for leading those nights such as Jake Cather's night, right? It's that full circle rewarding experience. And as an intern, like we talk about, you know, it's, you get out of it what you put into it, and there's nothing you will not get out of here if you aren't willing to put in that work initially, right? And I think that's just the most important piece of it here.
Exactly. I feel like I saw a checklist on LinkedIn once about like, oh, working in minor league baseball, things that you've done. Oh, even if your role is like head of marketing, like you've taken out the trash, you've cleaned up fireworks, you've helped tarp the field, you've raked the field, you've made a social media graphic, you've anything under the sun that is not your job description you have done. I feel like that can be, well, I was going through the checklist and I was like, I've done that at Newport, I've done that at Newport, I've done that at Newport. You don't even have to work in a minor league baseball team to get the same experiences. And I feel like that is a very, again, like hidden gem part of Newport and a part of summer ball alone, is that you truly get to do every single thing if you want to do it. And it really helps you, like, you can excel in those certain situations and really truly figure out like what your interests are, like sponsorship for you, and then just like keep going with it.
Absolutely. Juliana?
Yeah, I mean, never thought I'd be painting picnic benches or organizing rooms at the field. And again, the biggest joke of all is National Intern Day. My first year, there was a picture of me dragging the field. That was not my position. But you got to do what you got to do. And again, we even started our meeting with our interns this year with, you get out what you put in. And I know it's kind of like beating a dead horse and you think you hear it all the time. But you really do, because I think the three of us are living proof we wouldn't have come back in the roles we had if we hadn't gotten out what we put into this organization. You got to put in the long hours. You got to kind of dedicate it yourself. And again, even I was on the older side. I'm like, okay, I'm going to kind of intern with a lot of undergrads. Like I'm a little older. I do have a little more experience, but I didn't think that I was any better or different than everyone.
Exactly.
I feel like you naturally became kind of head intern.
No, yeah.
We kind of like granted that upon you because
I did become mom to literally everybody, just because I don't really know. Again, if people needed help, you're always willing to lend a helping hand. And again, when the board trusts you, there's going to be a little more given to you in terms of ability to do things or have that sense of trust and responsibility. So I did take on the role of mom, which with both the interns, staff, and the players. And again, you get out what you put in. I don't think I would have built that trust with everyone if it weren't for kind of the trust I was giving everyone as well.
Yeah, and I think that's just an inherent skill, in all honesty, right? Because like you said, it's, understanding. It's understanding that, no one's above anybody. Yep. Nobody's above taking out the trash. Nobody's above helping tarp the field, right?
Running the merchandise booth.
Exactly.
Soaking up the water on the field.
It's understanding and being comfortable that it's like, hey, like, yes, like, we're back for the second year, but we're still here to help just like everybody else. And it's just everybody's job just to keep the integrity of this organization in line, right? So before we kind of wrap this up today, you know, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to aspiring interns or interns coming in to the Gulls for their first, you know, experience, whether that's their first experience in sports, first experience in baseball, first experience in the sports industry in general, you know, what would you say to those incoming interns?
Definitely think it's going to be a lot of long hours, and you have to be ready for that. But that's not a bad thing at all. It gives you almost more time to figure out the skills that you're best at, you can perform better in, and maybe the things that you're not so good in, but that's how you figure out what you want to do in sports, and whether it's baseball, whether it's not. But again, kind of like I was saying earlier, don't let your title limit you in any job that you're in, whether it's here in Somerville and Newport, or if it's a real full-time job. Everybody does a little bit of everything, no matter what. And it truly gives you that chance to figure out what you're interested in, what you want to do, what you're good at, and the ways that you can fully and helpfully contribute to an organization.
Yeah.
I would say kind of similar, be the yes person, don't be the no person. You're going to be asked to do everything and anything you could think of, and if you say no, that's going to stick. I mean, you're doomed for a career in sports if you're saying no. It's long hours. It's, again, doing things that are not your job description. The job description is just a suggestion. I've learned that. But you have to be wanting to experience different things that you might not have thought you're going to. And, like, I never thought community relations was something that I was interested in. And I fell in love with it the first year I did it. And then even kind of more, like, player development and roster management and the back end side of things this year. Never thought I would do that. I'm a hockey girl. And here I am helping manage a baseball roster. Like, it's awesome experience that now you can kind of put that on your resume. And again, this is coming from the grandma in me. You can grow these skills on your resume and be able to say, hey, I did X, Y, Z plus 1,000 other different things. Like, you always have something to talk about and say, which is super, like, arguably the most important thing. And if you're saying no, you don't have those skills and experiences. So always just say yes.
It's a good thing you said yes to be the stadium DJ.
I never would have been able to do it at Amherst now if I hadn't done it at Cardines this summer.
And so many of my professors...
Give me a call.
So many of my professors have said, like, hey, when we know from other, from recruiters and everything, that when they see minor league baseball, summer baseball on a resume, we know that these kids, these people can handle a certain, like a heightened level of just the type of work, the quality of work. They know that you've put 110% in, and you're almost more likely to be hired or looked at more favorably in that position. And I definitely think it completely helped me getting the job at Eastern Michigan University as well. And like, they trusted me to become kind of their pseudo director of ops for this past semester. And without the experience here, I don't think I would have ever been like called back by the head coach and said like, hey, yeah, totally. So it's just taking every opportunity you can get.
People know how much of a grind this is and how much
and they respect it.
Yeah, you take on and can handle, like, even with that athletics at UMass and marketing, we're overseeing every single sport on that campus, and all of them play basically at the same time. So being able to manage my time and kind of talk in my interview for them about everything under the sun that I had experienced here, you always kind of stick out.
Exactly. I think there's just the communication part of that too, right? Because whether it's, whether we're in our first years and, Rachel, like you talked about in the beginning of the podcast, talking with these summer camp, parents, talking with the national anthem singers, the honor guards, there's so much communication that goes into it. And it gets you, whether you're a communicative person or not, it gets you out of that comfort zone because that's all you're doing throughout that summer, right? You're talking to people, you're cold calling people, you're emailing them.
Not every day you have politicians just calling your phone saying, hey, I'm here.
Right, but it's what? A lot of the
so
time,
many of them calling me at home. Hey, hello.
Yep.
I brought a friend. Give him a baseball. He can throw out a first pitch too.
Right. But a lot of the time it's like, you're thinking, okay, am I being a pest? Do I keep talking to these people? But that's just what goes into it, right? You have to stay on top of everything. You have to stay on top of everybody. One of the biggest things that was told to us in our first year is people aren't thinking Newport Gulls 24/7 like we have learned to do in our past couple of years here. Right? But it's just staying on top of that, and again, putting 110% in every day, being willing to continue to go a step and beyond for just the overall benefit of the organization and the community at large. It's just a really good way to again establish yourself initially when you're first breaking into the sports industry. I know I said last thing, but I lied. The emotional attachment I feel to this organization is something that's very real, whether that be the positives, whether that be the negatives, whether it's the short days, it's the long days. What is your favorite memory of working for the Newport Gulls over the past 2 years?
I was up last night because I knew I was doing this, obviously. I was trying to go to sleep. I was reliving. I was running back moments.
So much.
But like the most random things. I'm thinking back to this past May. I'm like, go to sleep, Rachel. I was like, oh, what about this thing and this thing?
Yep. I have two. I have one from each year.
Okay.
From this past year, it's easily when I got to present the check to the Cathers family with how much money we had raised for them and his fight against cancer. That was something I will literally never, ever, ever forget. I had gotten emotional in that game, and I had never gotten emotional at any of these games before, but just seeing everybody come together and just the impact that had on that family, and being able to meet with them and everything, that is something I will never, ever, ever forget. And then from 25 was winning the
2024.
24, oh my God, where am I? Grandma. 24, winning the championship. We had watched it happen, and then immediately we're like, we have a job to do. We have to go feed these kids. And then we kind of looked at each other, looked at everybody else. It was
like,
you, me, and Avery.
Why the hell?
And we were like, why are we here? And just us sprinting to the field and celebrating with everyone is also just something I will never forget.
Oh my goodness. I was trying to think of it while you were talking too. I'd say
we have a lot.
I know.
We have a lot.
I think this past year, for me, obviously the Jake Cathers night was massive, but you guys were at the very, very helm of it all. I was running our finances that night. There's another example. I am not the finance person by any means. I got a speed run on that.
Stepping out of the comfort
and
zone,
had to do it
anything you're prepared to do.
To do it on the night that we had the largest turnout, I think, of any night, obviously. So that was a daunting task. Right. So I was locked away doing all of that night just to see the sheer amount of people coming in. But I think for this past season, for me, again, I keep drilling this summer camp thing, but I was really in charge of setting up summer camp appreciation night and the summer camp scholarship appreciation night, and just reaching out to all the politicians, all the sponsors to get them to say who wants to throw out a first pitch, making sure that everyone feels recognized, obviously, because we have a different kind of tiered level of who sponsors summer camps and everything. Rhode Island Energy, obviously, being the main one, and you want to make sure that they they are the first people you reach out to, practically, besides the campers. But both years, I got to lead out the campers from that week 3 camp onto the field. And I feel like it was kind of a full circle moment for me this past summer when I did that, because I did the same thing when I was just the summer camp director. So being out there and doing that again was really just like, wow, wait, I'm here, and this whole kind of pregame was what I helped set up. So that was definitely, I think, the biggest thing for me this season. And then 2024, oh my God, I don't even know.
Some of them too were literally just like the three of us being in here at like 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And just like losing our minds over God knows what.
Pretty much.
It's like post game we come here and we're just like, witching hour.
You had to de-stress and just take a breath.
Yes, we have all bonded tremendously.
I think honestly, 2024, like, it was just the team that we had, the interns, the staff, the players.
Yeah.
I think that was honestly the most memorable part. That was obviously last season as well. Like, everyone was great, but I feel like just the first year is something special.
Yeah.
And obviously with the championship too, and repeating. And so I think that one, it was just the people that you were surrounded by the first year was definitely what also brought me back here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a 25-year anniversary, it might be a little bit lost on us just because of how new we were to the organization. But at the same time, with how much of, like I said, that emotional attachment to this organization, how special is a 25th anniversary even to people like us coming up this summer?
I feel like I've been with this organization for far longer than 2 years. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just no matter what, no matter how many times I joke that I'm never coming back.
We're back here.
I'm always back and I'm always with the Gulls, and I just always find myself talking about experiences here and just the community this place has built. So it's insane we even try and talk to like the new incoming team or interns just about the history of this organization and what it's meant for so long and how important what we do is, because I don't think, again, a lot of people I didn't really realize coming in my first year either, but it is such a special place, and you kind of see that come to life, especially being like here all the time, even if you're only kind of in that intern period for a couple months over the summer, if you are here a little longer, but just to also see how it grows year over year.
Right.
Again, it's special. I don't know. It's really how I can explain it to people, and it's just important that people kind of are able to see that.
And I'd say we've all said it sitting here, but just how ingrained the Newport Gulls are within the Newport community. Obviously, here in Aquidneck Island, it's small. It's the smallest state in the United States, but like Aquidneck Island itself, it's tight knit. Everybody kind of knows everybody. There's not a moment you don't run into someone, whether it's a sponsor, whether it's just another fan of the game that doesn't know somebody else and related to the Gulls, whether it's one of our board members, one of our past interns, current interns, and just how much this team means to the people on this island, not just Newport, but Portsmouth and Middletown as well. And even I had people come up to me who live in Tiverton, right across the bridge, and they've said, I wish I could host a Gull, but like I'm just a little too far away. They're like, I wish, like I love this. I've been coming here for however many years. The group of guys.
Yes, our
Bill,
favorite group
Bill,
of fans.
Noah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Our super fans.
they come from Massachusetts every single game.
Yep.
They like meet up with each other and like they kind of carpool and they drive. But it's just seeing people like that and getting to talk to them in our roles is what truly makes this special. Is you see how much of an impact this team has on all ages, from the little kids, the reading programs and summer camp, to literally like 80-year-old fans sitting in the stands. This team is it's just a beating heart in the community.
Absolutely.
Cameron?
Well, I think that's all I have for us today. So thank you guys for coming down and having the opportunity to kind of go through all things ops and interns once again for us today. Thank you, Gulls fans. Thank you, viewers. We'll be right back here next Monday with another episode of the Gulls 25 for 25 podcast. Just a quick reminder that the 25th anniversary alumni weekend will be Thursday, July 16th through Sunday, July 19th later this July. And we once again cannot wait to see everybody back at the Gulls Nest and at Cardines this summer. Gulls fans, thanks so much.